Tales of the Afterworld, the Light Finder. Morning mist curled between ancient trunks as Radian traced his familiar path through the forest. Each step carried him deeper into the living cathedral, where shafts of early light pierced the canopy like golden spears. Through the Ethernet, he felt the pulse of countless trees, a symphony of whispers that had become as natural as his own heartbeat. A discordant note caught his attention. Beneath the towering elders, a cluster of saplings stretched their pale leaves toward a sky they couldn't see. Their song through the Ethernet was faint, desperate, a lullaby growing fainter by the day. You hear them too. The voice belonged to Eldara, her luminoid form shimmering into existence beside him. Not many would notice such quiet voices. They're dying, Radian said, kneeling beside the smallest sapling. Its leaves felt paper-thin against his palm. They need a light finder. Eldara's eyes held ancient wisdom, someone who can persuade the old growth to share the sun. The ancient ones never change. Radian's fingers traced the sapling's delicate stem. They've stood this way for centuries. Everything changes, young one. The art lies in how we guide that change. Flutter, a red squirrel with bright eyes, scampered down a nearby trunk. The high paths tell stories, she chittered, if you know how to read them. Under Eldara's guidance, Radian learned to map the forest's layers. Flutter showed him hidden roots through the canopy, where even the smallest gap could paint the forest floor with light. Each day brought new understanding of the delicate balance between old and new. He approached the smallest elder tree first. Honored one, he whispered through the Ethernet. Might you consider a small adjustment, just one branch, to help the little ones grow? The ancient tree's response rumbled like distant thunder. We hold the pattern that has served for ages. Change brings chaos. But Radian persisted. He gathered allies among the forest creatures, learned the sun's daily dance, discovered how tiny shifts could create paths for light. Some elder trees began to listen, moving branches by inches. Others remained unmoved, their resistance deep as their roots. Storm clouds gathered one dark morning, smothering the forest in shadow. Radian stood among the struggling saplings, doubt creeping into his heart like frost. Perhaps I'm wrong to push for change, he said. Eldara materialized beside him. Watch the saplings, she said. Even now, they reach for light they cannot see. That's faith, Radian, and faith requires patience. He studied the forest with new eyes, seeing how young and old could support each other. The saplings' roots would one day brace the elders against storms. Their trunks would fill gaps left by fallen giants. The forest was not static. It was a dance of eternal renewal. Armed with this vision, he spoke to the ancient ones again, not demanding, but sharing what he had learned, showing how small changes could strengthen the whole. Slowly, the elders began to shift. Branches lifted like ancient arms stretching after long sleep. Ribbons of sunlight found their way to the forest floor, and the sapling's song grew stronger in the Ethernet. Radian had found more than light. He had discovered his purpose in the delicate space between tradition and growth, where wisdom lies in knowing how to nurture change without breaking what came before. In the end, it wasn't about moving mountains. It was about finding the courage to whisper truth and the patience to watch it grow.
Visit tigala.com, Book of Living Stories.